Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Vermont State Police Special Teams 101 with Captain David Peterson. My name's Emily Harris. I work at Vermont Emergency Management, and I'll be hosting your session today. For the wonderful folks online, if you have any questions throughout this presentation, I ask you to enter them into the chat, and I will afterwards notify Captain Peterson of the questions that are in there. For folks in the room, if you can raise your hands, there are speakers in the ceilings. I do ask that folks limit those conversations because of the speakers in the ceilings. With that, I will turn it over to Captain Peterson to discuss special teams.
Thank you very much, Emily, and thank you everybody for joining me this afternoon. I hope everybody's having a good time at the conference down there in Killington. Thank you for the introduction, Emily. My name is David Peterson. I'm a captain with the Vermont State Police. I joined the State Police in 2001, and currently my role is as the Special Operations Commander for the department. That assignment has me working out of headquarters primarily, but early on in my career, I worked out of the Northeast Kingdom as both a uniformed division and a detective. I may have worked with some of you, particularly in my role as a bomb squad member, which I've been a part of since 2007, and I've commanded the team since 2014. But enough about me. You guys are here to learn a little bit about the Vermont State Police Special Operations Unit and Special Teams. I've kind of entitled this presentation an introduction to the specialized resources in your backyard. As you guys can see on the screen, Vermont has a dedicated group of first responders, and as a small state, we often cross paths at critical incidents that arise in our communities. So again, I want to greet those that may have worked with me in the past, and thank you again for being here. Emergency Management asked me to put together a presentation on what the Special Operations Unit is and the different services that might be available to your local communities. As I was trying to put this together, I started thinking a little bit about my time in school and as also as a new trooper on the road, and they ingrained in me, my teachers and the instructors at the academy, always cover the 5 W's: the who, what, when, where, why. And so today I'm going to kind of walk that road a little bit with you, just talking about the specialized resources that the Vermont State Police has, and how these resources can benefit your communities, both in times of crisis as well as preparing for the next critical event. So the first thing I'm just going to cover, I'm sure most of you are familiar with Vermont State Police. Before we jump right into the world of special operations, though, just wanted to cover some very basic information. For those that don't know, VSP has 10 field stations that are spread across the state, 5 in the northern half, which form Troop A, and 5 in the southern half, which form Troop B. You can see on the left side of the screen kind of a breakdown. I realize that the typeset for the names of the towns might not be readable in the screen format because it's so small. But there is this map does exist on the Vermont State Police website if you want to go and grab it. Each field station is commanded by a lieutenant who serves as a station commander. And my hope, honestly, as I explain this to you guys, is that you're already familiar with the station commander that serves in your area. If so, that's outstanding. If not, I strongly encourage you to find a time to meet up with the station commander. This for the VSP hierarchy, the station commander is essentially a gatekeeper to deliver our resources, both at a basic level as well as access to subject matter experts that I'm going to talk about more here shortly. Our station commanders are available to attend community meetings and can provide data on a variety of public safety related topics and answer your questions. Additionally, the station commander is the person that's delegated with the duties to send out resources to assist other local safety efforts. In short, our station commanders are one-stop shop when it comes to a need, whether for action or for information. Typically, the station commander is available during normal business hours, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And during the off hours, the Vermont State Police maintains a watch commander rotation, much like the emergency management. The watch commander kind of has delegating responsibilities and can triage critical incidents when the station commanders are away. You can always call your local field station if it's after hours and specifically request a return call from the watch commander to address any concerns or issues that may arise. And that's honestly going to be the easiest way to get a hold of the point person, no matter the hour of day. Call the local barracks, either talk to the station commander if it's business hours or the watch commander for after hours. Covering that, we'll move on and just talk a little bit about who are the Special Operations Unit. So, Special Operations Unit is presently comprised of 10 sworn members, which includes myself and an executive officer. And there are 8 additional sworn members assigned to one of 5 specialty fields. These fields include traffic safety operations, crash reconstruction, canine operations, recreation enforcement, and emergency services. We also have 3 civilian department members assigned to the Special Operation Unit. One civilian position is the State Search and Rescue Coordinator. The second is a mechanic for our recreation enforcement program. And we also have an administrative assistant that works with our recreation boating program. The Vermont State Police has all of our special teams fall within the Special Operations Command. Presently, there's 15 specialized teams or units maintained by the Vermont State Police. Most of these units are the sole such resource within the state of Vermont. Many special teams maintain specialties within its particular field. For instance, the K9 unit has teams that are focused on explosive detection, patrol operations, and we also have a hound team that's utilized for tracking and cadaver detection. Approximately 185 Vermont State Troopers serve on one or more special teams. And the members of the Special Operations Unit are all on at least one of the special teams that you see listed here on your screen. Several of them have membership on multiple special teams. Only those individuals assigned to the Special Operations Unit or the Major Crime Unit serve their respective special team in a full-time capacity. But that only accounts for about 6% of our total special team membership, meaning most of the teams are made up of members that are doing that duty the vast majority of our members on special teams do that as a secondary duty. I think I mentioned before, roughly 185 or so of our troopers are assigned to special teams, and of that 185, only about 6% of them actually do it on a full-time capacity. They do get regular training days in the state of Vermont. Unfortunately, there's a number of specialties that just aren't able to get the advanced level training that they need in the state of Vermont. So we have partnerships both regionally and at the federal level to ensure that these special teams and these subject matter experts get the routine training they need to exercise their specialties. I frequently get asked, how many activations do your special teams actually have? And it varies for sure. There's no doubt about it. We have special team activations on a weekly basis. Sometimes it's 8 to 10 activations, and sometimes we have weeks that there are several critical incidents, and we can be above 15 or 20. We have teams that are only activated a few times a year, and we have some that get activated more than 100 times annually. So there is a great spread across our special teams, and so they are a heavily used asset when it comes to critical incidents here in the state of Vermont. Vermont is, as some of you may know, part of the New England State Police Administrators Compact. And what that does is it allows the 6 New England states to share specialized resources throughout New England. As such, some of our assets do actually get used outside of the state of Vermont. And reciprocally, when we have a need here in Vermont, we can request those specialized assets to come and assist with an investigation or a special event that we might be hosting. We do have a number of special team members that provide instruction to the law enforcement community here in Vermont, either by teaching it directly at the Vermont Police Academy, facilitating Vermont Police Academy programming, or via in-service training that's taught locally. And that's both within the law enforcement community. That latter one is awareness training, planning, and coordination, and that happens not only with the law enforcement folks in the state of Vermont, but also other first responders, emergency planners, and the like. Jumping off that point just a little bit, awareness training and advanced operational coordination are available through most of these special teams. For instance, the bomb squad can provide personnel to give presentations on basic explosive familiarization to first responders. And certainly if our special teams aren't able to directly supply the instruction sought, we can likely provide direction on the appropriate resource to do so. In fact, there are now many online modules that can be accessed by first responders that you guys can be pointed to through one of these resources if you have a particular interest in that field. Each of the special teams has its own web page on the Vermont State Police website. So if you're looking for some additional information on that, I would point you in that direction. So I wanted to just take this opportunity quickly to plug our new Vermont State Search and Rescue Coordinator just a little bit. This spring, after approximately 10 years of service to the state of Vermont, Neil Van Dyke retired from his position as the Vermont Search and Rescue Coordinator. I suspect some of you tuning in may have crossed paths with Neil at some point in his tenure with the Vermont State Police. Our new SAR Coordinator is Drew Clymer. Prior to joining DPS in the Search and Rescue Coordinator capacity, Drew served for 5 years with Stowe Mountain Rescue, participating in search and rescue missions involving that organization. Drew did some training and has some good experience through his time with Stowe Mountain Rescue that he's going to bring along here to the Vermont State Police. Drew was also a member of the State of Vermont Urban Search and Rescue Team, which specializes in providing advanced technical search and rescue capabilities to victims trapped within structurally damaged building. So search and rescue operations are in good hands with Drew's experience. He is an avid outdoorsman, as is indicated of the picture of him on the slide doing some ice climbing. In fact, this is an image posted on our website currently, as we're still trying to find a suitable time to get Drew in to get his official department photograph taken. Needless to say, he's a busy guy. Fortunately, Drew and Neil were able to work collaboratively prior to Neil's retirement. And over this summer, Drew has already taken on roles in several search and rescue missions, expanding his knowledge as it relates to the management function of that. As his time's allowed, Drew has been something of on something of a Vermont road trip, checking in with first responders, volunteers, and other partner organizations to introduce himself. His philosophy is a very strong collaborative approach, which has been a hallmark of our search and rescue operations for quite some time. I know that Drew is excited to meet new people and discuss pertinent topics to the field of search and rescue operations. So I would encourage anyone with questions in this field to reach out to Drew. As you'll probably hear me say again, his contact information is available on the Vermont State Police website. You can also reach out to me and I can do a quick introduction if that would be helpful as well. So what does the Special Operations Unit do? As noticed previously, the primary duty for the members in the Special Operations Unit is to advance our field operations at critical incidents, whether it be a bad crash on Vermont highways, a missing party on Vermont waterways, reports of an active shooter, or other public safety emergencies. The unit gets routinely evaluated, and new projects are frequently piloted within the Special Operations Unit. For example, many of you may have experienced or heard media coverage regarding the increase in traffic fatalities on Vermont highways. Earlier this month, a pilot project was initiated focused on crash reconstruction activities. This included an increase in the number of sworn members assigned to this duty on a full-time basis. We now have 3 of them, with a potential for additional increases. Our reconstructionists are highly trained and bring expertise to the investigation of crashes that result in serious bodily injury or death. VSP has also rolled out an activation process to allow for more coordinated response of these subject matter experts. Members of the Special Operations Unit and VSP special teams are available to provide instruction to first responders and volunteers within your communities on a host of topics. This can take the form of hazard awareness, insight for planning for specific emergencies, demonstrations of operational capabilities, and other topics. Frequently, members from the Special Operations Unit and/or special teams members collaborate with state and level government, collaborate with other state level government entities to address outstanding issues within our local communities. Such discussions have included highway safety, boating safety, blasting operations, explosive licensing, and household hazardous waste disposal, among others. Our unit maintains a can-do spirit and seeks to find solutions for the problems that are presented. I've mentioned several times about the subject matter experts that are assigned to our special teams and special operation unit. In some cases, these may be the only such individuals within the state of Vermont. So they can get solicited to provide input and testimony when needed to ensure that laws and ordinances and statutes best reflect best practice. Likewise, they apply this within the field of law enforcement to ensure policies, procedures, and standards are in accordance with accepted best practice, and the deliverables are done so in a professional fashion. VSP takes an active role in participating in special event planning as well, particularly for those events that are of a high-profile nature, whether they are planned way in advance or with a short notice. It seems that we are fortunately moving away from a mindset of it won't happen here and instead adopting an approach of having properly prepared and trained assets on site to resolve any emergency that could arise. Quite frankly, this mirrors practices both nationwide and worldwide. If your community is hosting an event, the Special Operations Unit can be a resource when evaluating preparedness and applying for public safety permits. VSP participation is scalable and can range from mere situational awareness to the first responder community to a robust package of specially trained personnel that can be deployed on site to mitigate a variety of potential hazards. If there's a specific topic that you think special operations can help you out with, I would just encourage you to reach out. And if it doesn't fall in the scope with what the unit specifically does, we can certainly be happy to point you in the right direction. So when and where can I find the Special Operations Unit? While we're all officially assigned to the VSP headquarters in Waterbury, for the most part, we actually work locally. We have members that are spread out in the Upper Valley, the Champlain Valley, Central Vermont, and the Northeast Kingdom. So we have a pretty good spread, and we travel a fair amount throughout the state. As to when can you find the Special Operations Unit? Well, quite frankly, we're available, as most of you guys are, 24/7, 365. If you are unsuccessful in connecting with us by calling your local Vermont State Police Barracks, headquarters is always reachable at the number on the screen. So how can the Special Operations Unit help my community? I know that I've talked about kind of the experience that our members have. You know, that's obviously the paramount duty. But we also can facilitate ensuring that proper connections and collaboration is made to point people in the right direction to get their problem solved. We have the capability to deploy specialized equipment within the state police. I serve as a liaison to the Vermont National Guard. So if there's resources that we don't have, I can work with the Vermont Guard potentially to bring in those assets. And if not, within the state of Vermont, very likely I can bring in some assets from outside the state as well. As I mentioned before, we can provide some awareness level and other types of training to first responders and volunteers within your community. And we want to be actively involved in planning for special events. On the left side of the screen here, you see a picture of a deployment of the state police in Killington at the World Cup ski race last year. We'll be back in Killington again over Thanksgiving weekend, and looking forward to making that a successful and special event. So that pretty much covers the 5 W's that I wanted to hit upon. So with that, I guess I'll go ahead and open it up to questions.
Thank you so much. First, to folks on the line, if you want to enter any questions into the chat, I'd be happy to read them to Captain Peterson. And to anyone in the room, if you've got any questions, please raise your hand. I'll call on you and you can speak up and ask your question. What questions do folks have about special teams and the services provided by the special teams unit? Well, I'll kick us off with a question. Do you know if the special teams are aware of the new regional emergency management committees that meet quarterly in all the different almost county level governments, and if they've got any presentations lined up around the state?
So I can't speak for all 15 special teams. Some of them are much more involved in those kind of activities and are available to provide presentations. But certainly I would be happy to be a resource to those local and regional committees that would like to have some presentations by a specific special team or even a group of special teams.
Thank you so much. What other questions do folks have? Yes, go ahead.
Is it possible to get like exercise set up with the special teams, like have some sort of mock exercise and have the team come out and work with you on that?
Did you hear that question, Captain Peterson?
I did, yes. Thank you for that question. Absolutely. Our special teams are constantly looking for new venues to conduct and perform training in. And so if there's an opportunity for us to participate in a mock exercise, we would happily avail ourselves of that. What I was saying before about these mock exercises is it's helpful for us to have a little bit of an advance notice. Once we get within 30 days, it can be a little bit difficult for scheduling purposes. So as you're starting to plan some type of mock exercise, if you want a special team to participate, all I'd ask is to reach out. The commanders, their email addresses are all on the website. Or you can just call the local field station and inquire about getting a specific special team or multiple special teams. Several of our special teams work in a complementary fashion, so you could have several attend.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Captain Peterson. What other questions are there in the room? Okay, going again to online. So sorry for the disconnect, folks online. Any questions in the online world? Well, Captain Peterson, thank you so much. And I'd ask everyone in the room to help me thank Captain Peterson.
Thank you very much, folks, for sitting in. Enjoy the rest of the day. It looks like the sun's trying to peek out a little bit, at least where I am. So hopefully you get the same. Enjoy.